The explosion at the Klaarwater substation in the KZN has put the state of eThekwini's infrastructure under the spotlight. Around half of Durban suburbs were left in the dark earlier this week after that blast. For more on this, let's speak to the eThekwini Municipal Manager, Musa Mbhele. Mr. Mbhele, very good evening to you. Thankful for your time tonight. So, just to be clear, I know by yesterday morning about 95% of power supply had already been restored. Where are we now? Does every single household, every single business in eThekwini that was affected by the outage, does it have electricity?
Good evening and good evening to your viewers. I can confirm now that large parts of the city now have electricity, with the exception of areas around Shallcross and Greater Chatsworth. So I can safely say up to about 95% of the city's areas now do have power.
So, well, given that 95% figure yesterday morning, in fact, already, what is the delay in restoring power to Shallcross and Chatsworth in particular? Because, as I understand it, Shallcross is, in fact, quite close to where this happened.
Yes, that is precisely the reason. According to the information that we are receiving from our teams on the ground, Shallcross has been severely impacted because of its proximity to the substation that had a problem. So the city is working around the clock to ensure that they restore electricity there. That is mainly the reason. But as I said, there is no other reason other than the fact that they are in close proximity to where a lot of damage has taken place in terms of infrastructure such as power lines and stuff like that.
When do you expect that they'll be reconnected to the grid and able to switch on their power?
According to the assurance that we've received from our team, by Friday, all areas that have been impacted by yesterday's event will now be fully covered in terms of electricity availability, which is tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening?
Well, to put it safe, let's say by close of business tomorrow.
Okay, so this Klaarwater substation where all of this happened, do we know yet why this happened?
There were a series of events that took place prior to that explosion, and they were related to a mini storm. There was a lot of wind, which has caused some trees to fall. So the teams are reluctant to speculate as to the real cause, but they suspect that those storm events may have had an impact in terms of what has happened yesterday. One thing they've confirmed, though, that they don't suspect any foul play in terms of interference. At this stage, there was no evidence of that. Mm-hmm. There was no evidence of failure, infrastructure failure, because they consistently maintain that piece of infrastructure. So they've ruled out those two possibilities, but they are still investigating. As they have not conclusively said, it is linked to the storm, but as they eliminate other potential causes, it does seem like that one could be the main cause, but we will come out to the public and confirm what actually happened.
So if weather is the main cause at a preliminary level now, that's what we're dealing with. KZN has had horrid weather in the last, 2-3 years, not least of which the recent floods in April around Easter, right? What is being done then to make sure that there isn't a repeat of constant outages whenever there is a thunderstorm or more severe weather?
The city has a very ambitious program of upgrading our infrastructure, which includes electricity infrastructure. One thing that I must not forget to mention is the speed with which our teams responded. If you have had a substation of that size, impacted in a manner that that one was impacted. You possibly expect blackouts for a couple of days, but our teams were able to restore that in a matter of hours. So I think that is a very critical point to make here. But yeah, coming back to your question, I'm basically saying that as part of our ambitious plan to upgrade our infrastructure post disaster, we are quite confident that as long as we are not going to experience the disaster similar to the one that we had, our infrastructure is designed to withstand some of the harshest natural disasters. So we don't expect any preponderance of impact due to natural disasters.
But what happened on Tuesday, was not on the scale of events in April, and yet that appears to have affected power infrastructure. How vulnerable is the power system, so to speak, more broadly, to being taken out, let's say, by storms, strong winds, thunder, lightning?
Yes, I'm saying as our response in terms of upgrading infrastructure, we are employing new technologies as part of ensuring that we build back better. That is the theme. So as to ensure that our infrastructure is resilient to storm events. So it is all built into our infrastructure upgrade program. So that is basically the guarantee that I can give to our consumers that yes, we are not in control of what Mother Nature does in terms of the frequency of storms and the intensity of such storms. But one thing that we can guarantee is that how we are upgrading our damaged infrastructure, we are seeking to limit incidents similar to the one that we had on Tuesday.
Musa Mbhele from the eThekwini Metro. Good to have your time, sir. Thank you.